They get real busy, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
I said they get real busy, don't they? Yeah.
Yes. And so just learning how to, like a weekend with them was a text to find out how they were doing. Or I'm going to come down Friday and we're going to go out to eat and then I'll drop you off at home. That was the weekend.
Okay.
So learning how to appreciate any time I could have and being strategic about the conversation, to this day, learning how to take them out separately and let them talk, that kind of thing. But Mark, while we still have you in sharing those things, I do have two questions I want to ask you. The first question, from your perspective, what's the difference between parenting boys and girls from a father's perspective? The difference between parenting boys and girls, and then what do you want your children most to take away from you as their father? So if you could share the difference between parenting boys and girls, and then what do you want your children to take away from you?
I think what's most important that they take away from me, as I said earlier, for my daughter, I want her to understand what a man does, what he looks like, how he treats his wife. That's what I want her to understand. For my son, I want him to understand from the man's perspective. This is how you treat your wife. This is what you do for your wife. These are things that you do that you may not want to do, but that's your wife. So you are going to do these things because she is the glue that actually holds this together. And if you don't appreciate that, you will not be a man. As far as males in general and females in general, working in elementary schools now with about 13 schools, I think it's very important for me to go into every building with the suit and tie on, because somebody in that building is looking at me and saying that I want to be like him, the same way I wanted to be like Charles Albert, the same way I wanted to be like Johnny Smith, the same way I want to be like Thomas Blue, the same way I want to be like Eugene Grant. Somebody is looking, so it's not always what you say, but your presence is important. And I also want those little girls to say, I want to marry somebody who dresses and looks like that. So I think in my mind, that is very important to me, the modeling, because that is what made me who I am.
Well, we have had an awesome time having this conversation with Dr. Mark E. King. Fatherhood. Yeah. Shauna, thank you so much for allowing him, sharing him with us. We appreciate so much, Mark, you being here. Fatherhood from Ashes to Beauty was our topic. And this is Village Talk, where we share and highlight the voices and views of the community. And ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you for tuning in with us. Mark, thank you for joining us. And Shauna, thank you also as my co-host.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Take care, ladies and gentlemen. God bless you. And we hope you join us again for our next podcast broadcast. Village Talk.
Thank you for joining Village Talk Podcast with hosts Cortland Jones and Shauna Felton King. Village Talk is a VMP media production. Join us every second and fourth Sunday at 4:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a new episode. Village Talk, highlighting the views and voices of the community.